within a minute and 30 seconds from submitting the application. So I'll share that update with you as we go through the system here. But I want to show you guys, if everybody can see my screen here.
Wait, Scott, can you repeat that again? That's incredible. That's the first time I heard that. So you say that again.
We had an app sent in, funded, issued within a minute and 30 seconds. So we've made some fine-tuned, some upgrades that you have the ability to send cash in with the application electronically and get those issued within a minute and 30 seconds. That's the fastest I've heard that we've done. I don't know if there's another time or something that beat that since then, but definitely a milestone that we hit here that we're very proud of, and it's a huge selling point in the system as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem. So I want to show everybody on the website where you access the Apply Now system. So once you're logged into the Allianz website, this is what you see on the home page here. Under Forms and Materials, there's going to be a drop-down that says Apply Now. Click on that. That's going to bring you to the launching page. The launching page of Apply Now, you're going to have a number of different videos that you can watch to get familiar with the system. You can watch a video to get your assistants or delegates into the system as well that can help fill out the applications for you. So when you go to meet the client, you already have the application filled out, and you just need to get signatures from that standpoint. So once you're on the Apply Now launch page, to actually get to the system, you're going to hit View Application. Once you hit View Application, that's going to pull up the actual launching screen in the actual system called Apply Now. Now on this page, there's a few things I want you guys to pay attention to. On the left-hand side is going to be all the apps that you've worked on in the past. The system saves them for up to 60 days from the last day that you worked on them. So if you want PDF copies or if you want hard copies to save on your computer or in your office, you have the option to save them as PDFs through here or print them as a PDF as well and file them however you would like. On the right-hand side is where you're going to start a new application. You also have all applications, my preferences, and just to exit to the system. And when you guys are running through the system, if you have any questions, you guys can reach out to INA. They'd be able to help you get more familiar with the system. You can also reach out to us at Allianz if you need help with the system as well, if you have some questions. And I'll give you that number at the end when Tom repeats INA's number as well. But I'll go ahead and get started here. I'm going to start a new application, just show you the basics of Apply Now, how it works, how the system runs through smoothly, how it double checks your work to make sure everything comes in good order, but also how it generates the correct corresponding form so you're never missing a form and you never have to go back to the client and say, hey, we forgot to get this form signed. Let's go back to the client and get it signed here. Nobody likes to do that, and I'm sure the clients don't like having to re-sign paperwork as well. So I'm going to take you through the basics here. So starting a new application, it's going to ask you to select a jurisdiction. So whatever state you are signing the application or whatever state the client's in is the state you're going to want to select here. So let's go over to, let's see if we can find Idaho here. And then we'll just go with the #1 selling product right now, the Allianz 222. Once you click on the jurisdiction in the product, it's going to give you the bare bones of what you need to fill out for an application. So if you look on this section that I have right now, you're going to notice the application, agent report page, suitability form, everything generic that you would need to fill out the application. As you notice, we don't have transfer forms listed on here yet. We don't have a non-resident sales form. We don't have a non-individual ownership form. We don't have a supplementary beneficial form as well. All those forms will generate if they are required by how you answer the questions on the application. So I'll go ahead and hit Create Application here. I'll just label it Test with INA, very creative. And go ahead and hit Create. Now this is going to pull up the first page of the application, and there's going to be a couple things that I want you guys to pay attention to on each page that you go through, just to make sure you're using the system as much as you can. This first page here is something you guys aren't familiar with seeing doing paper application. This is our electronic application agreement. Nothing you necessarily need to fill out on this page here. Everything's going to generate depending on how you fill out questions later on in the application. So I always skip this page. Nothing's required on this page. Everything's going to pre-fill from later on. So looking at this application, it looks just like a paper application, where with a few minor differences. There's a red bubble up here. It gives you some form entry completion, and one of the big things are these purple questions on the side. So there are going to be 3 things that I want you to pay attention to, and I'll list them one off as we go along here. And I'm going to start filling out the application. I'm not going to complete the entire thing because I think that'd be a little bit of a waste of your guys' time. I want to show you the ins and outs from there, and then I'll bring you to a completed application, show you how the signatures work, and show you a couple cool features to the system as well. So the first thing I want you to pay attention to is this red bubble up in the top right-hand corner. This red bubble is going to indicate that, hey, something is missing on this form, or hey, additional information would be very beneficial for us here at Allianz to get this application issued and moving forward. So if you notice that red bubble, you can always click on it, and it's going to highlight everything in red that you need to fill out here. So if you can tell, obviously we haven't started filling out anything. We have missing requirements here. And if I select the first question here, what type of a contract are we looking at here? I'm going to go ahead, individual. Notice everything that is required below is then highlighted in red. And if you want it to be a little bit more clear for you guys as well, you can click on the red bubble, and it's going to show you what's highlighted, just to make it a little bit more clear so you don't miss it. So as I go through filling out the application, notice as I select and put in the correct information here, the numbers disappear, or the red disappears. So I'm going to go ahead and complete this first section here, and just watch as it goes here. So as you notice, as I filled that out, all the red disappeared, and I go ahead and I see the red bubble still there. I know I'm still missing things on the application here. We have to go down to the next questions that I haven't completed. One nice thing about this application is if you don't do the correct format, or let's say you forget a number on the Social Security, if you do this on a paper application, it's very hard to see kind of what's missing from that standpoint. And when you go back and double check your work of what you've done, you may not always catch that. And that's a common mistake that we have here on a lot of these applications, is missing numbers on date of birth, maybe telephone numbers, Social Security. This will make sure everything comes in correct. So if I notice I don't have the correct format for a Social Security number here, I click on it, it's going to highlight it in red, say, please enter a valid Social Security number. And now I have it in the correct for it, and we can move forward. So that's the first thing I want you to pay attention to, is the red bubble. The second thing I want you to pay attention to are these purple questions that generate throughout the contract. These purple questions are going to help you fill out the application so much faster with pre-fill options, but also make sure that you are generating the correct and corresponding forms. So you're not going to be able to complete the application unless you answer these, but I'd pay special attention to these questions to make sure everything is coming through correctly. So for example, is there a joint owner on the contract? If I indicate yes, there is, obviously I need to fill out the joint owner information. Same purple question down below here. Is this address the same as the owner's address? I indicate yes. Pre-fills that address for me, saves me a lot of time from handwriting that address in there. I'm going to go ahead and hit no. We're not looking at a joint ownership on this contract. Go down and look at the annuitant here. Same question, is the annuitant same as owner? I indicate yes. All that information that I plugged in on the owner's information, pre-fills, don't have to fill out. I can move on to the next page. Now I notice the red bubble's gone. This means this page is 100% complete. Everything you put in here looks correct to us. You can move forward and don't have to worry about this page again. So the third thing I want you guys to pay attention to when using the system is up in this top left-hand corner. We have form entry, and we also have a navigational tab that's an open tab here. You're going to show this form entry jump up and down as you go throughout the application, depending on what forms generate and what forms don't generate. As you can tell right now, I'm at 84% complete from the application. And then the other thing up in this top left-hand corner is this navigation tab. So it's going to show me all the forms that I have generated right now that I need to fill out. All the forms that I need to complete something or fill out are indicated in red. And if you want to see that further, you can just look at the pages here. Obviously, page 2, page 3, page 4 are not complete. Page 1 is in black. I don't need to do anything else on this page. It's 100% complete. We can move forward. So I'm going to take you through a couple more pages, show you a couple cool features, and then I'm going to bring you to the completed application and show you the signatures and a few other sections on here. So again, red bubble up in the top right-hand corner. We're looking at the primary beneficiaries, individual, looking at 100%. And what's nice about here is it's only going to make you fill out what is required. So as you can tell, it's not asking for a social security number. It's not asking for a date of birth. All that information is definitely helpful in the event of a claim, but it's not something that's required with the application. So again, as I filled it out, it completed it. It's no longer in red. I still indicate the red bubble up there. Do we have any additional beneficiaries? Indicate no on here. Red bubble is complete. We can move forward on to the next page. Again, same thing up here. We're going to look at the red bubble. We'll look at non-qualified. Let's say we're sending it via a check. Another great feature on this application, and one of the most common mistakes we have here at Allianz when producers are filling out the application, is that they indicate an index or a crediting method that is not available for that particular product. With this form, it's not going to let you select something that's not available for the product that you selected on the application. So for example, if I wanted to indicate that I wanted to put some funds into the FTSE 100, I can't even click on that. That's not even an option for me to fill out. Another common mistake is that some producers don't do the math or indicate that they're looking at 105% on here and they didn't add up to make sure that their index allocations equal 100%. So as I fill it out, down here it's going to do the math for me, and it's going to tell me that I need to equal 100%, and I'm 5% short right now. So I'll go ahead and select another one here. Completed 100%, no more red bubble, we can move forward. Again, this is the last page that I'll take you to before I take you to completed application, but I want to show you the purple questions again through here and how it helps you complete this application so much faster. So again, red bubbles up there. I notice I have a lot of information I need to fill out. We have cash with application here. You notice when I filled out that cash with application, this question got highlighted in red. And this is the update that we just made that I indicated that we had an application issued within 1 minute and 30 seconds from being submitted here. And it was because they had cash submitted with application and they sent it electronically from their client's checking or savings account. So this purple question here, if we go ahead and click there, submit cash electronically with application. I can indicate no, I don't want to do that, or I can say yes, I do. If you indicate yes, you do want to send them electronically, notice this ACH form generated. And if I wanted to send that electronically, we just put the account holder's information there, put in their banking, routing, accounting number, total amount we want that to come through from what bank account, and that's going to come electronically with the application to hopefully be issued within that 1 minute and 30-second time frame that I mentioned before. So I'm going to take us back to that annuity application page here. The other thing I want to show you here is the replacements. Now, depending on what state you are in, there's replacements that are either required or not required, depending on how you answer these specific questions, whether your state is a model regulated state, a non-model regulated state, or an exempt state. It's going to be different from each one depending on how you answer these questions. So for Idaho, if I say, yes, I'm replacing, we notice the replacement packet generated for Idaho. If I indicate, yes, I have life insurance or annuity contracts, but no, I'm not replacing, they do not generate for Idaho. And again, no would no, they aren't going to generate for Idaho. So depending on what state you're in, you want to pay special attention to those questions, especially if you're filling out a paper application. A lot of the times producers will indicate, yes, we have existing life insurance or annuity contracts. No, we're not replacing, so we're not going to fill out replacement forms. If your state is model regulated, you still need replacement forms, and you'd have to go back and get those signed from the client and actually get a new application signed as well. So this will really help limit those issues with new business and help limit those going back to the clients and getting things re-signed. So that's all I really want to show you filling out the applications. I think you guys understand the pre-fill features. Pay attention to the red bubble up in the top right-hand corner. It's going to tell you what's required, what's missing. And again, pay attention to the form entry as it's going to move on as you fill out the application so you can tell how close you are to completing. So I'm going to go ahead and save this one. And before I jump to the completed applications, I did want to go over this Other Actions tab up here. This Other Actions tab is going to give you a couple different options that you can use as well. So one thing that I don't recommend doing, but you have the option, is that you can send this blank app and request the client to fill out that app for you and sign it, send it back to you. All you have to do is sign at that point and then submit it to Allianz. Don't recommend it because they're probably not familiar with our paperwork and probably have a lot of questions going through here. It'd probably be smoother if you guys fill it out and send it to them, but there is that option. Once we're at 100%, we can display, print the PDF. You can print it out and get hand signatures if you want. It's a great way to use the system, make sure everything's in good order. If your clients don't feel comfortable signing electronically, they can hand sign that, and then you can send it in the traditional ways. So those are the two things that I wanted you guys to pay attention to on this Other Actions tab. So I'm going to go back to the home here. I've already completed an application here through INA, so I'll take you to a completed app. I want to show you guys a few things on the suitability form, transfer forms if they generated as well, and then signatures.
Hey, Scott, real quick, this is Tom again. I just want to say to the group, as we go deeper into this, if you do have questions, please hit the hand button that is on the webinar. So if you have questions and you want to write them in, I'll try and catch them while they're fresh, and we can answer your questions as we go along. So thanks.
Yes, definitely. Please ask any questions as we go through, and we'll definitely answer those questions at the end. So moving forward to a completed application here. As you notice, form entry indicates 100%, and there is this blue button that generated up in the top right-hand corner that says Continue. If I click on that Continue button, it's going to take us to the signatures. I'll get there in a second, but what I really wanted to show you is the suitability form. So if we take a look here at the suitability form, our requirements and everything that we look at in our suitability guidelines are built into this form. So depending on how I answer these questions, it's going to tell me whether suitability is going to want to take a look at this and just review the information, or if suitability is going to say, hey, everything meets our guidelines 100%, we don't have to worry about it, we can go ahead and move forward. So if I go to the second page here where we've already completed everything here, and I show this green suitability checkbox down on the bottom left-hand corner of this form, at this point it indicates, hey, everything meets our guidelines 100%. We're not going to have any questions, any concerns whatsoever via suitability. We're not even going to take a second look through it. It's going to go through right away. Now, if I change some of this information here, and I go back to that same page, you don't show a green suitability checkbox. You as a producer are going to realize and say, hey, maybe something on this form doesn't make sense. Maybe suitability is going to want to take another look at this. Maybe we should provide this financial inventory worksheet or some more information about why we want to look at this as a suitable fit for my client, and provide a letter or some additional information to help that suitability team review everything and make sure, hey, this is close enough to our suitability guidelines, or hey, based off their wants and needs, we can go ahead and move forward with this. We don't have a problem with it. So I want to take you back to this page here. As you notice, form entry is at 100% complete, but we still have this red bubble up in the top right-hand corner. If I click on that red bubble, you notice that this information is not in red. What this is saying is, hey, this document here that we have, the financial inventory worksheet, will help our suitability team review the information, but it's not required, so you don't have to fill it out. And that's what this one's showing right here. But if you notice the information that I changed under approximate household net worth, it's saying, hey, this number doesn't make sense. The liquid assets should be less than the net worth. This premium of this policy should not be indicated as a liquid asset. So it's just telling me the numbers you plugged in here didn't make sense. Double check that, please, and let's go ahead and move forward. So it's going to double check your work. and it's going to say something doesn't make sense, or please provide additional information. Not required, but definitely helpful for our suitability team. Second thing I want to take you to are the transfer forms. Now, the only thing with this system, has nothing to do with the system. It's that other companies may not require electronic signatures or may not accept electronic signatures when sending out funds from one policy over to Allianz. So I want to take you to the transfer forms here and kind of show you what that looks like and why. So right now I just indicated that we have a transfer, and I'm going to pull up the authorization to transfer funds form. So as you notice here, there's a lot of purple questions that we would use to help fill out the information that we have here. So if I just go through, it's going to pre-fill a lot of that information so you don't have to rewrite it, and can definitely save you a lot of time. But as we move throughout the transfer forms here, it's going to ask you on the last page specifically, do you want to e-sign this transfer form? If you indicate yes, it's going to give you a warning sign and say, please validate that the other company requires electronic signature or accepts electronic signatures, so we can sign this electronically and send it over to them. Some companies don't, so yep, go ahead, Tom.
I was just going to say, we do have a quick question here from Miguel. Let's see. Miguel, I unmuted you if you want to ask your question. Looks like a really good question about doing a SEP.
Okay.
Miguel, are you there? Okay. Well, the question is, in short, if you're doing a SEP, when are the paperwork requirements selected automatically available for a SEP? So I thought I'd give them the option to speak up.
So when are the paper requirements for the SEP required?
Yes.
Was that correct? So you're talking like plan documents?
I believe so. I was hoping that Miguel could clarify a little bit. I unmuted him, but that's right. I guess we can follow up and see later on. I just thought it was timely with going through the section you were on.
Mm-hmm. So if they are required here at Allianz, it's going to indicate, please provide the additional form. So if we went back here, let me go back to the first page or the electronic application. So individuals can look at a SEP IRA. If we want to look at like a 401k or a pension plan, we click qualified retirement plan. It's going to generate all the correct forms and indicate what you need to send in from that standpoint. But if I go over here to the third page and indicate that this is going to be a qualified SEP IRA here at Allianz, let's see if it provides anything additional. Does it provide anything additional required to come through this system? There is options that you can attach other documents or send them in if needed, but on here it's saying, hey, nothing else besides what is required here at Allianz is indicated on this form. Does that make sense?
Great. Thank you. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. If there's more, we will follow up. So thank you for pausing and answering that.
Hey, no problem. If anything else comes up, just stop me mid-sentence. I have no problem. So let me just go back and fill this out here. So going back to the transfer forms, again, do you want to e-sign this? If I hit yes, it's going to tell me to validate those that they do. Some companies don't, so if I indicate no, I don't want to e-sign these forms, it's going to want you to indicate, are you going to attach these forms within Apply Now? Are you going to email or fax these to Allianz, mail originals to us? How are you going to send it in? We just want to know so we can expect those transfer paperwork coming in. You don't have to put any policy numbers on the transfer paperwork. When you send them in, they're going to have a code up here in the top right-hand corner that you just send them in. We're going to match that code with the application and get those applied and get those working on right away when they do come in. So I'm going to go ahead and indicate that we aren't doing a transfer anymore in here just for sake of time, and pull you over to the signature section. So right now, 99% I don't know what's missing on here. I do show a red bubble up on here, but just to be safe, we could double check. Annuity application is the only thing that's missing. Missing something on page 4, red bubble. Are we submitting this cash electronically? I'm going to indicate no to save some time filling out some extra forms. So once you're 100% complete, continue button generates up in the top right-hand corner. Other actions up here, once you're 100% complete, the system won't let you print the documents or save them as a PDF unless you are 100% complete. So now you show that generated. If I wanted to, say, print the transfer forms on here and get those hand signed, I would go here, find the transfer forms. Obviously, they're not here because I indicate we're not doing a transfer anymore. But you can just print those specific documents that you want to save those or to get hand signatures on those if required. So I'll go ahead and hit continue. We just made an update on our signatures where your clients aren't going to have to try to draw their signatures online to duplicate what they would normally do as a hand signature. Usually we would have something with a touch screen like an iPad or a tablet where they can sign from there. You can sign on a desktop with your mouse and try to duplicate that signature. But we now have the ability just to DocuSign. They type in their name, they hit I consent, and move forward from that standpoint. So as I'm using electronic signatures here and signing the application electronically, there's 2 places to sign. Each person is going to sign once, and it's going to pre-fill all the signature sections that you're going to need on the application. So I'm going to go ahead and sign as the agent. I'm going to take you through that first. And the owner is going to go through these exact same steps that you are. As we're looking through the application, it just wants you just to double check and confirm everything is correct. You can do that by clicking on these and just clicking on the blue arrows to move through. So I can say I have read and reviewed this one. We can move on to the next one. Instead of going through all these pages, I'm just going to hit confirm all documents without reviewing, and we can move on to signatures. So as I sign, I'm going to have to put my full name up here. And as you notice, my name generated right here in bold letters. If your clients want to, they can try to duplicate that signature and draw on here and get your signature to move forward from there. So I'm drawing with the mouse. Doesn't really look like my signature. But if they want to sign electronically, they just type their name in, they show their name in bold here, go ahead and I consent, and that works as a signature. So if I go back to the application, and I want to look at a signature section here. As the agent, I've signed Scott Stevenson on 8/23, and this is going to be in every section that you would need to fill out a signature or have something signed. If we go back up here, I notice my signature is complete on 8/23. Owner is going to have to go through these same steps. Now at this point, if the client's in the office with you, you can hit sign now. They can sign the application in the office with you, complete everything, send it over to Allianz to be issued. Or if you live in a rural area, which I have a lot of producers that do, they don't want to travel 50, 60 miles just to go get a signature. They have an existing relationship with the client. They say, hey, I'm just going to send you an email request so we don't have to take time out of your day. You guys can just sign it when you get home from work and then send it back to me. I'll go ahead and submit it to Allianz at that point, and that meeting is done. So if I go ahead and hit sign now, it's going to have to verify a little bit more information from them to indicate that, yes, you are who you say you are. So it's going to ask for their ID number or for their driver's license number. So I'm just going to plug in a few numbers here. Joe. And email address. And you will have to put in an email address here for the client because it will send them a confirmation email that the application has been submitted. So info@gmail.com. Verify the information here. They're going to go through these same steps, just review, make sure everything is correct. Once everything has been reviewed, go ahead and sign from this point. Put in their name here, their city as well. And then from this standpoint, they can try to duplicate their signature or just hit I consent and move forward from there. And we will get a hand signature on the policy delivery receipt, so if they have concerns about their signature matching when they send in a withdrawal form or another type of form, we will get a hand signature on the policy delivery receipt where we can match that up and make sure it is the person indicating they want to withdraw from their own account. So that's how you use the system. Kind of filling out an application, as you can tell, very easy, very user-friendly. We made updates to get funds in faster. We made updates to make the signature processes easier for you and the clients. There's just one more section that I want to show you guys, and it really helps in the event that you're filling out multiple applications for one client, whether you're looking at different products or different types of funds. Normally with the paper applications, you would have to complete 2 applications by hand. With this, you can copy all the information that you've just completed onto a new application and move forward from there. So all the applications I've completed or worked on in the past are on the left-hand side. If I look at all the applications that I've done within that 60-day time frame that I mentioned earlier, I have the option here to copy the application. I can view it, look at signature requests, or delete the application. So I'm going to go ahead here and hit copy. I want to say, hey, we're copying it as is. We're doing the exact same thing here. We just want different contract numbers. We want to split up their funds. We don't want everything in one. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. Once I copy it, it's going to pull up the application. As you notice here, everything is already completed from the client. We're at 97% complete, but there are a few sections that we want to answer again just to make sure we're looking at the same things here. So annuity application, page 4, we're missing something. Cash with application, we're missing these 2 questions. Do we want electronically? No. Do we have replacements involved? No. Again, 98%, we're getting closer. We're missing some information on the suitability form. I notice a red bubble up here. Nothing's in red. I don't have to fill that out if I don't want to. But we have some more red information here. We have checking and savings coming through. My second app is complete. It took me 30 seconds instead of another 45 to 90 minutes to complete a paper application. And now I can move on for signatures. So that's the basics of the systems, a lot of the in and outs, a lot of the cool features that you can use to help you guys get this through, issued, and paid faster. If you have assistants that follow up on these new business applications, and that's primarily their job, it's going to make their job so much easier where they can focus on helping you get prepared for your next sale, your next seminar, anything coming up here, just to make everything go through faster so you guys can focus on what you do best, and that's the sales process. So I'd like to open it up to any questions. If I didn't answer that SEP IRA question or didn't understand that completely, please clarify. But I'd like to open up any questions. If anybody has anything that they want to ask.
Okay, at this time I'll unmute everybody at this time and allow for you to ask whatever question you have. So go ahead.
As if it was qualified. Oh my gosh! I mean, if this is
okay, let's see. Okay, Miguel, looks like you have a question. Go ahead. I have unmuted you. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, the question is, can you share an effective way to go over or complete the application with the client over the phone? I'm sorry, Scott?
Yep, sorry. Can you repeat the question one more time?
So the question is, can you share an effective way to go over or complete the application with a client over the phone?
Yeah, so an effective way to do that, I work with a few producers who do a lot of conversations over the phone and completing the application. It depends kind of on how your prior meetings went. If you got a lot of the information, a lot of them have their assistants fill out whatever they can, save the application, and then have the producer come back into it over the phone with the client and finish filling out the information. But a lot of the times, it's just going through the application question by question, asking them, filling it out as it comes through, putting them on speakerphone and going from there. So an effective way, if you want to send it to them, I would say I wouldn't necessarily send them the application because some of them aren't as familiar with the system or computers as maybe you are, and you'd be able to fill it faster. I would just say go over it question by question on the phone and fill it out as they answer your questions. That's what I've heard producers do before, and it's been effective and it's been fast. But that's really the only way I've heard of it done over the phone before. Our compliance department wants you to meet at least once in person with them to verify they are who they say they are. So as long as either they're an existing client, you've met with them before, you can complete everything over the phone or everything via email if you want.
Great. Okay. And one other thing I'll add to that is I've heard of a handful of producers using this when they meet with their clients. They'll have an iPad with that has, say, self-service, and if they have to go visit and they're meeting them at their home, that's another useful way to do it. Or they could have the application already pre-filled out, so it's an even shorter time frame for the client experience. Have you heard other successes in using an iPad?
Yeah, using an iPad works great. I mean, it's extremely mobile, easy to fit anywhere. You can just pull it out, and I definitely recommend having you or the assistant go in, fill out as much information as you can that you guys know about the client before you meet with them, because that's going to make that meeting and that system and that process so much faster and so much smoother, especially for the clients. I mean, I know the clients don't like sitting there for 45 minutes to an hour or more filling out an application. It's just a long process for them. If you can complete a lot of this application online prior, bring it to their home, bring it to your office, wherever you guys are meeting, finish filling it out there and go ahead and hit submit, you'll get a policy number just about right away. We usually say up to 30 minutes, you'll have a policy number, and you can always give them that policy number right after the meeting so they know that their application is being worked on and they feel comfortable. I've had a lot of producers with paper applications call in and say, hey, my client's asking for a policy number. We haven't had it yet because we haven't had the opportunity to pull that paper application, put it through the systems, and move forward from there. And that takes a few hours. Sometimes I've seen it take up to a business day. So getting that policy number really makes that process smoother, especially for the client. It makes them feel more comfortable as well.
Excellent. Okay, I don't have any other questions coming in at this time, but if you do have questions, feel free to reach out to us. Our number at Insurance Network America, again, is 800-456-7999, and you can call and reach any of us. And then, Scott, the number there, if you want to share that, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll give you guys, there weren't too many people on here, so I'll give you guys my direct line. If you have specific questions about it, or for me as well, you guys can always reach out to me directly, and I'm more than happy to walk you through the system and show you some ins and outs. But my direct line is 763-582-6323, and I'll give that to you one more time here. It's 763-582-6323.
All right. Well, again, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. I hope this was helpful. Like I said earlier, we are committed to always bringing you tools to help your business, to help you be more efficient, make things simpler for your clients as well. So I hope this was a good use of your time. If you have any questions at all, reach out to your sales rep here at Insurance Network America, or as Scott just gave you his direct line. Let us know if there's any questions. If there's a handful of people on here that have not worked with us previously, I'll encourage you to give us a look, give us the opportunity to earn your business with Insurance Network America, and how we can help. So again, Scott Stevenson from Allianz, thank you for joining us today, and everybody have a great Tuesday. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you. Thank you.